On September 9, 2018, in Savannah, Georgia, a respected high school guidance counselor walked into a police station and confessed to a murder no one knew had happened. Officers thought he was unstable. There were no missing persons, no reported crime. But 3 weeks later, human remains were discovered exactly where he said they would be. And by then, it was too late for him to take his confession back. His name was David Callahan, 44 years old, married, 2 children. For nearly 15 years, he had worked as a guidance counselor at Eastbrook High School. Parents trusted him. Students confided in him. He spoke at graduation ceremonies about resilience and responsibility. He lived in a quiet cul-de-sac with trimmed lawns and American flags on mailboxes. His wife, Karen, worked as a pediatric nurse. Their life looked ordinary, stable. The woman he confessed to killing was named Natalie Brooks, 28, freelance graphic designer, recently moved to Savannah from Tampa. She lived alone in a rental house 20 minutes from David's neighborhood. The problem was, Natalie Brooks had not been reported missing. Her friends assumed she was traveling. Her landlord assumed she broke the lease early. Her family believed she was taking time off after a breakup. No one had filed a police report. Until David walked into the station. At 7:14 p.m., David entered the front desk area of Savannah Police Department. Calm, composed. He told the desk sergeant, "I need to speak to someone about a homicide." He was escorted to an interview room. Detectives asked who the victim was. "Natalie Brooks," he replied. They searched their system. No missing person. No active investigation. David described her house in detail. He described an argument. He described pushing her. He described watching her hit the corner of a kitchen island. He claimed panic set in. He said he wrapped her body in plastic sheeting and drove it to a wooded construction site near Old River Highway. He provided coordinates. Detectives were skeptical. False confessions happen. Mental health episodes happen. But protocol required verification. Officers visited Natalie's address. Her car was gone. The house was locked. Inside, there were subtle signs of disturbance, a broken ceramic bowl in the trash, a faint discoloration on the kitchen floor. No body. But something felt unfinished. Search teams followed the coordinates David provided. After hours of combing through brush and dirt, a cadaver dog alerted near a shallow depression. They dug. 2 feet down, wrapped in construction-grade plastic, was the body of Natalie Brooks. She had been dead for approximately 18 days. Cause of death? Blunt force trauma to the skull. The medical examiner confirmed it matched David's description. The confession was real, or so it seemed. David was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. The case appeared straightforward. Confession, body, location, open and shut. But then something shifted. While reviewing surveillance footage from nearby roads, detectives noticed something odd. On the night Natalie likely died, a dark SUV was seen near her house at 10:42 p.m. David drove a silver sedan. Further investigation revealed that Natalie had been in contact with someone else in the weeks before her death, a local real estate developer named Michael Stanton. Michael was married, prominent in the community, known donor to local schools, including Eastbrook High, where David worked. Phone records showed multiple late-night calls between Natalie and Michael. Then, an unexpected detail emerged. David had never met Natalie before the day he confessed. There were no phone records between them, no messages, no digital connection. So how did he know so much? Detectives re-interviewed David. His story began to fracture. He insisted he killed her. But when asked about specific details, what she was wearing, which side of the island she struck, he hesitated. Some answers contradicted forensic findings. Meanwhile, financial records revealed something troubling. 2 weeks before the confession, David had received a $50,000 deposit into an offshore-linked account. The sender was a shell company traced back to Michael Stanton. The investigation pivoted. What if David wasn't the killer? What if he was the fall guy? Michael Stanton had motive. Natalie had reportedly threatened to expose an affair, possibly more. But Michael had money. influence, connections. David had debt, a second mortgage, college tuition approaching for his oldest child. Under renewed interrogation, David's calm demeanor eroded. He admitted meeting Michael privately weeks before the confession. Michael allegedly told him, "Some mistakes ruin families." David claimed Michael offered him money to take responsibility. Michael promised legal protection, promised his family would be financially secure. David believed he could handle prison. He believed he was protecting his own children. But he miscalculated something critical. Confessions are recorded, and this one was never meant to reach trial. Michael had allegedly assured him the body would never be found. But construction workers stumbled upon the site earlier than expected, forcing David's timeline forward. In trying to control the narrative, Michael accelerated the exposure. Phone tower data placed Michael's SUV near Natalie's home that night. Soil samples from his vehicle matched the burial site. Under mounting evidence, Michael Stanton was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and conspiracy. David's charges were reduced, but the damage was irreversible. During trial, prosecutors presented the financial transfer records, the surveillance footage, and witness testimony confirming Michael's affair with Natalie. The jury deliberated for 9 hours. Guilty. Michael Stanton was sentenced to life without parole. David Callahan received 5 years for obstruction of justice and conspiracy. When asked why he agreed to confess to something he didn't do, David said something that silenced the courtroom. "I thought I was sacrificing myself for my family. I didn't realize I was teaching my children that truth is negotiable." Natalie Brooks never got to defend herself. But in the end, the lie built to protect a reputation destroyed 2 families instead of 1. Karma did not come through a dramatic revelation. It came through impatience, through arrogance, through a man who believed money could edit reality. The confession David thought would disappear became the evidence that exposed the real killer. Sometimes the truth doesn't need witnesses. It just needs someone to underestimate it. If this case made you question how far people will go to protect an image, subscribe to The Hidden Truth, because behind every confession is a motive, and behind every motive is a truth waiting to surface.